also person. There are vexations to our soul. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain and bitter, but always there is a greater and lesser person than yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the breathing star. If I ever rise to be here, and whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Enjoy your achievements as well as your talents. Keep interested in your own career. However humble, it is a real possession of changing portions of time. Exercise caution in your business, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to a great rewards. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of toil. Be yourself. Especially do not feign company. Neither be cynical about love, for in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass. Take kindly the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you from sudden misfortune, but do not distress yourself with imagining. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness, beyond the wholesome discipline. Be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive Him to be, and whatever your labors and aspirations in the noisy confusion of life. Keep peace with your soul. With all its sorrow, grudges, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be grateful. Strive to be happy. You are a child of the universe, no less than the breathing star. If I ever rise to begin, you are a child of the universe, no less than the breathing star. If I ever rise to begin, you are a child of the universe, no less than the breathing star. If I ever rise to begin, you are a child of the universe, no less than the breathing star.
Yes, 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 yes. Good evening, all my South Orange Maple listeners, and all those other listeners in the towns of Melbourne, Livingston, Irvington, West Orange, East Orange, Orange, and Newark. Welcome to In the Village with Anselm on the South Orange Maple Online Radio Experience. And welcome to the South Orange Maple Online Radio Experience. Let me do that again. Welcome to In the Village with Anselm and Marjorie on the South Orange Maple Online Radio Experience and live on the World Wide Web at somore.org. And the only radio show covering all your news, opinions, politics, talk, and sports happening in the South Orange Maple communities. You can listen to us every Monday through Friday from 8 to 9:30 p.m. That's 8 to 9:30 p.m. and reach us at 973-327-3626. That's 973-327-3626 to participate in the discussion. We have an interesting program lined up for you this evening, and I look forward to your participation in the discussion. Now tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are experiencing a little set of technical difficulties. As you can hear, sometimes you hear some hissing in the background. We are actually working on that gently right now to correct whatever that is. There is some hissing in the background, but we are working on completing that, on taking care of that. Whenever we play any type of music, you hear some hissing in the background. So bear with us as we try to take care of these little technical difficulties that comes up while we on air here in the Village with Anselm and Marjorie. As I told you before, my co-host Marjorie is not going to be with us until tomorrow. So we look forward to Marjorie joining us here in the Village with Anselm and Marjorie on the South Orange Maple Online Radio Experience. Now, let's go directly to an article in the New York Times today. And whenever there are articles in the New York Times, most of the times, it's a positive article. And we have posted this article also on our Facebook page on facebook.com/Soulmore Radio. The title of the article is Maplewood, New Jersey, If Brooklyn Were a Suburb. Just call it Brooklyn West. That's how many residents of Maplewood think of their town, especially those who have followed the typical migration pattern of moving from Manhattan to Brooklyn to Maplewood, which they see as an extension of the hip, cultured, community-involved lifestyle they've grown accustomed to in New York. A lot of like-minded transplants have come here from various enclaves of the city, seeking the same kind of life in a suburban setting, which happened to be a beautiful setting with parks and rolling hills and colonial houses, said Alexis Robbie, a television producer who moved here from Greenwood Heights, Brooklyn last October with his wife, Corey, and 2 young children. They bought a 1920 side hall colonial with 3 bedrooms and 1 full and 2 half baths, paying $630,000. Bonnie Ramsey, a recent arrival from Park Slope, Brooklyn, agreed. Nothing that she and her husband, Matt, and their 3 children were welcomed with open arms when they moved last November to this Essex County town, about 4 square miles. One set of neighbors invited them to a barbecue the day they arrived, while neighbors on the other side invited them to dinner the following evening. This is such an amazing community of people who are artists or actors or work for great organizations, said Miss Ramsey, a pastry chef who is married to the associate director of live shows for the Blue Man Group. And everyone's a New Yorker or from Brooklyn, so it feels very familiar. They too bought a 1920 colonial with 4 bedrooms and 2.5 baths for $555,000. Last month, the Ramseys helped prepare for the annual block party on their street, stringing lights, pulling out lawn chairs and grills, and setting up water balloons and egg toss games for the 60 to 70 neighbors expected to come out. On almost any given weekend in the spring and fall, similar block parties are happening around town, according to Mark Slade, an agent for Keller Williams Midtown Direct Realty, himself a transplant from Brooklyn 17 years ago. Citing the top 3 reasons home buyers choose Maplewood, Mr. Slade listed: number 1, the direct train to the city; number 2, diversity; and number 3, lifestyle. You know, it always amazes me that one of the things that we tout in this community is diversity, and correctly, rightly so. We tout diversity because, yes, there is diversity in South Orange and Maplewood. However, when you start to talk about diversity for AP classes, diversity for honors classes, and diversity in the lower levels at Columbia High School, we start to look at diversity a little differently. So there is 2 types of diversity. There is diversity outside of Columbia High School, and there is the diversity inside of Columbia High School. And why do I say that? As I said, let's create true diversity in South Orange and Maplewood. Let's also be diverse in our gifted and talented program, in our AP classes, in our honors classes. And as a matter of fact, just get rid of tracking and we'll be fine. It's not going to harm any of the kids. The kids who are high achievers going to continue to achieve anyway. I guarantee you, if this school system was to get rid of levels and tracking, the high achievers are going to continue to be the high achievers. However, there's a great possibility they will pull a few of those stragglers, so to speak, up to a higher level. We should try it. Try it. And if it fails, we could always go back to the way it was before. But we gotta try something different, because over and over and over, one of the strengths that almost everyone touts about South Orange and Maplewood is diversity. But I'm asking you the question, do we really have true diversity at Columbia High School? Or is it just diversity by name because it sounds good and it looks good? As we continue with the article, everybody feels comfortable living here, he said. If you're in a mixed ethnic marriage or of mixed religions, you're okay, because that's what we do here. The 2010 census figures bear that out, tallying Maplewood's 23,867 residents as 56% white, 35% black, and 7% Hispanic, and 3% Asian. Maplewood is definitely an NPR Subaru Outback kind of place, said Dan Calabro, an internal recruiter for JP Morgan Chase, who moved to Maplewood from Hell's Kitchen in Manhattan with his wife, Christine, and their newborn son in December. The Calabro said they found a better selection in their price range in Maplewood than in other towns they considered like Montclair and Summit, and ended up buying a 3-bedroom, 1.5-bath colonial in the mid-$400,000. While properties tend to be smaller in Maplewood, this wasn't a problem. The houses being closer together make it a tighter-knit community, Mr. Calabro said. What you will find. Maplewood Avenue, the town's commercial heart, maintains a small town feel. Recent plans to turn a prime Maplewood Avenue site occupied by the United States Post Office into a mixed-use development led to a petition drive drawing 600 signatures from those seeking more community involvement in the decision-making process. The project's chosen developer pulled out in September after King's Supermarket, currently across the street, indicated it would not move into the new space, but the township is planning to go ahead with another developer. In addition to the biannual art walks, community art centers, and artist studios throughout town, Maplewood's artistic nature is reflected